In this video, we're going to have a look at how to work with the notifications area. In the top right-hand corner of CRM, clicking on the bird of notifications will reveal the notification and reminder panel. I can click again to retract that from view. If I'd like to fix the panel to the side of my window, I can click on the pin icon here. Clicking again on the pin icon will remove the hold so that I can then hide the panel from the screen. So while we're working with it, I'll fix it to this point in your screen. What you can do is click on the little speaker icon here and choose from one of the festive options that we have for notification sounds. If you'd like, you can also turn the sound off completely. We can then come over and click on the speaker icon to retract the options from the list. So as I scroll through the list here, you can see that we have a range of different reminders and notifications, some for jobs, some for task deadlines or reminders, quotes to be followed up, emails that have been unsent, opportunities to follow up, project deadlines, invoice follow-ups. So there are a range of different ways that you can set notifications and reminders to appear in this section. Once they've showed up, there's a few things that we can do to work with them. If I'd like to clear a notification from view, I can click on the cross button over here, and that will remove the notification from the panel. If I'd like to get into the record that the notification is referring to, in this case the contact that needs to be followed up, I can click on the View Details button, which will take me straight through to the contact record. I can also snooze a notification for later by clicking on the alarm clock here. So I'll snooze that one for 30 minutes, and I'll go and snooze my job deadline here for another 4 hours. So now that we know how to find and work with our notifications, let's look at the different types that we can generate and how we go about doing that in your database. For this contact follow-up here, what I've done is put the record into edit mode. Then we have a field here called follow-up date. So the date that I put in here, and also the person that the record is assigned to, means that on that date, when this person logs into CRM, they will get an alert over here. So this is a simple contact follow-up, telling me that I need to do something with this record. So that it's relatively easy for me to figure out what it is that I need to do with this record, I've gone and added some notes here to the description box. So I've put in notes of what my last call was about, and what the next call is or what the next action is that I have to do. So that way, when I click here to view on the details of the contact, it comes up and displays my notes prominently here on the contact card. I can then make my calls or my follow-ups and add my activities to the timeline, and then go and reset the follow-up date for perhaps a couple of weeks down the track to touch base with the contact again, or I can clear the follow-up date altogether and basically go and clear this from my view because I've done what I need to. Looking at this opportunity follow-up here, we can click on the View Details tab and come straight through to the opportunity. So this is very similar to the notification that we set up on the contact. If I put the opportunity into edit mode, you'll see that we also have a field called follow-up date. So it works in the same way in that the person that the opportunity is assigned to up here will get the notification in CRM of the date that is specified in the follow-up date field. So I've done something very similar here and gone and put in some notes in the description box. So you can see those notes are pulled through to my notification here so that I can quickly see it's an opportunity, I need to do something with it, and these are my notes about what I need to do. So once I've completed my actions and added my activities to the timeline, I've got the same option. I can go and clear this follow-up date from the system, or I can go and reset it for a date in the future. If we now have a look at the quote follow-up down here for the 13th of May, I'll click here to access the details, and I've done pretty much the same thing. So putting my quote into edit mode, we can see that I have a follow-up date field here, and I also have a person that is the follow-up assignee. So in this case, it means that we can differentiate from the person that the record is assigned to, which is most likely going to be the salesperson. So we still want to make sure that they get their credit in the sales reporting, so we'll assign a different person to do the actual follow-up work administratively on this quote. So I can add a date, I can add the person that needs to receive that notification in here, and similar to what we did earlier with the other two types of records, I can also go and add some notes into this box so that once I click on the notification, I can come straight through and see what needs to be done. So we can use that same process on quotes, orders, invoices, companies, contacts, opportunities, and a range of different records inside of the system to quickly set a follow-up using the follow-up date field and based on who it's assigned to. If we look over here at the task reminder, tasks work a little bit differently. So you can see here that I have one called a task deadline and I have another called a task reminder. So let's have a look at what that means. If I click here and view all the details, you'll see that on a task we have a start date, we have a due date, and we also have an end date. Depending on the dates that we put into the system, we're going to get different notifications over here in this area. If we have a due date in the system, we will get an alert of the due date. Over here, you can see I've got a task deadline. So that is related to the due date field on the task. The task reminder is based on the start date and the reminder interval that we set. So if I edit this task, you can see that I can choose the reminder interval here from the list. So in this case, I've gone with 5 minutes, but I could change that to 15. So what that means is that 15 minutes before this task is due to start on the 19th of May, I will receive an alert here and it will be a task reminder. So you can see that there's a couple of different ways that we can get a task notification inside of the system. What we can also do with tasks, as well as generating a system notification, we can also generate an email notification. So by default, the person that the task is assigned to will receive an email notification in their inbox, giving them the details of the task. What we can also do is add attendees to the task. So if I put this into edit mode, you'll see that I can go and select other people from this box. So in the event that I wanted to assign this task to another member of the team, but I wanted to keep myself in the loop on it, I can add myself as an attendee, even if the record is assigned to somebody else. So what that means is, as well as the person that the record is assigned to, the attendee will also get an email alert when the task is put into the system. Now, the benefit of that moving forward is that every time this task is updated by Andy when she performs work on the record, I will also get an email telling me what's changed. So it's a great way to stay in the loop on tasks that you've assigned to other people or other teams that you'd like to keep notified on. Notifications for other types of activities work in a fairly similar way. So if we look at a call in here, we can see that we have a call start, date and time that we can give the system, and then we can click the bell icon over here to specify a reminder interval. So I'll get a notification in CRM at the specified interval before the call time is scheduled. It will work the same way for meetings. We also see the notification here, in which case we still need to give the system a start date and a start time so it knows when the notification needs to occur in relation to the meeting. Clicking on the short form for the task in here, we just see a different view for the task, and I can click on the bell here to set my notification. Looking at the other types of notifications that we have here, we've looked at tasks and opportunities. We've also looked at quotes. Project deadlines are very, very similar. So if we jump through to the project, we will see that if we put the project into edit mode, we have an end date, a planned end date, and a start date for the project. So you can see here that my project deadline notification for Monday the 18th of April corresponds to the planned end date that we've added to the project here. So once again, this is based on who the project is assigned to and the planned end date that has been entered into. If we take a look at the invoice follow-up, it's identical to what we did with the opportunity, the contact, and also the quote record. So if we put the invoice into edit mode, you can see that we've got the follow-up date field, and we've also got the field for who the person is assigned to. So for invoices and sales orders, we don't differentiate and give you a separate field for the follow-up reminder person. It will go to the person who record is assigned to. So we can use those two fields in conjunction with the description box to quickly put our notes in here and generate a notification inside of the system. What we'll also receive over in the notifications area here is if an email or an SMS fails to send, you'll get an error message over here notifying you that that's the case. In which case you can go and look at the activity, look at the error message and determine why that's failed. If you've sent an SMS out of your system and receive a reply to it, you'll also get a notification in this area telling you that the message has been replied to. Now there's a couple of other ways that we can generate email notifications as well as system ones. So we have a look at how the emails work on a task. Let's have a look at how the emails work on a meeting. So with this assigned to field, this person will receive an email. The same as with the task, so will the people that are attendees for the meeting. But we can choose whether or not we actually send that invitation out. So if I just want to save this as a historical meeting record in the system, I can just hit save and the details will go in and appear on the timeline, and I'll have a calendar activity in the system. If I want to send an invite to the people that are assigned and attending, I can click on the Send Update Invitation. So that means that it will generate an email notification to those parties. If I then open this calendar event again and make changes to it, I can send an updated invitation by using the same button, or I can cancel the invitation and send an alert to the attendees and the person it's assigned to by using this cancel button. Another way to generate an email notification is to do it using an @mention for your colleagues. So in this case, I've opened up a company record for a customer, and I'm going to put in some notes about a phone call that I had with them. What I'd also like to do is keep a couple of my colleagues in the loop on what that phone call was about. So it's a quick FYI. What I can do is type in the @ symbol and start typing the name of another user in the system. That will then create a tag or an @mention for the user. So that means that when I hit save on this record, Andy's going to get an email telling her that she's been tagged in a note. So when Andy gets that email, it's not going to give her a lot of detail. So she's going to see some notes here and know that she's been tagged, but she doesn't have a lot else to work with. What I'd like to do in this case is copy the unique record URL from the address bar in your browser and then go and add that into the note as well. So that means that when the email goes through to Andy, she can see the notes, but she can also quickly click here and come straight through to the record that I'm referencing. So in that way, she's got some context about why she's been tagged. So once I go and hit save, you'll see that the system will go and queue an email to Andy to give her that notification. So we can use that @mention in notes, calls, tasks, meetings, emails, and also when we're creating these activities on a number of different records throughout the system. So it's a really good way to keep people in the loop on something by generating a quick email notification with minimum effort.